I've been using the OnePlus 9 Pro for over a month now, and in this video I'm going to talk about the 7 things that I love about the OnePlus 9 Pro. I'm Gary, this is FoxTech, let's go! I love the design, not just of the 9 Pro, but of the OnePlus Urban Traveler backpack too. This came as part of a pre-order, so I basically got it for free, and it's actually pretty nice. I like the little extras and the little bonus gifts that you get, so keep it up OnePlus. Oh yeah, the phone. Come on, just look at it. This stellar black looks so good. The overall design, as well as the colour and the feel, are awesome. Without a case, the stellar black is crazy smooth, soft to the touch, and easy to hold. I'd say this is my favourite feel and look of a glass-backed phone I've ever had. The black, at certain angles, looks like a sandstone texture that OnePlus are known for, but it doesn't feel rough at all. It's smooth, and I think every phone should be a matte finish these days. Whatever the colour, it's just so much better than a glossy finish. With a case, it doesn't make the phone too wide, and it's still a great size, especially using the one that came in the box. The edges of the display are curved, but it's less of a curve than the 8 Pro last year, which is a welcome change, that's for sure. I think I still prefer a totally flat display, but it's a nice middle ground, and it looks pretty sick. At the end of the day, it's just two slabs of glass with some metal in between, like most phones are in 2021. But OnePlus put it together in a way that I really appreciate and gave us a matte black edition. The display is a major upgrade from last year's OnePlus 8 Pro. There's no display issues from my experience, and overall, it's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. The 120Hz is amazing. I've had no issues with the brightness at all, and it's just awesome to use. It's not at 120Hz all the time. For example, you can tell when it's not in apps like YouTube, when it's running at 60Hz, even when scrolling, which I've got to be honest, it's a bit annoying, but when scrolling through the software and through apps like Twitter for example, it's pure butter. Yep, I said it, butter. Obviously a display is your way of interacting with the phone, so a poor one can really affect the experience, as I found out with the OnePlus 8 Pro last year and the Pixel 2 XL back in the day. But on the flip side of that, a great one can enhance it, and that's what this one does. OnePlus really brought the quality this year. The only thing I don't like about it is the curved edges, but I talk about that in a video on 5 things I hate about the 9 Pro coming soon. Oxygen OS is a total joy to use. I've come over to this from the Pixel 5, so I've always been a fan of the clean Android experience. I've also owned 6 of the OnePlus devices in the past, so there's no real surprises here with Oxygen OS on the 9 Pro, but it's super smooth, customizable and easy to use. The overall OnePlus user experience is really enjoyable in 2021. It's changed a bit over the years, but from back in the day with CyanogenMod to Oxygen OS 11 right now, OnePlus always focused on fast and smooth. That fast and smooth experience. It is a bit more like Samsung's One UI in the design these days, which I wasn't sure about at first, but after you use it, you realise it's still great, and those design tweaks just make it easier to use on a bigger display, which is more than can be said for Apple and the iPhone. There's also been 4 software updates in the last month. That's massive. OnePlus has been focused on fixing bugs and improving the camera with their software updates, and it really shows. I think the camera is much better now than it was on release, and that's all down to quick software updates. I love it. I'll be honest with you, I've literally not used the wired charger because the wireless charging is that good. It comes with 65-watt wired charging in the box and a 50-watt wireless charger. As part of my pre-order, I got the 50-watt wireless charger for free, and it's absolutely awesome. The battery life isn't that great, but the rapid charging surely makes up for it a bit. If you need a top off, then just stick it on the charger or plug in the wire and you can literally just watch the numbers go up. It's absolutely mental. There's also a bedtime mode, which I believe charges the phone at 10 watts on the wireless charger because it knows it's got all night to top up the phone really slowly. This is great for improving the long-term battery health and maintaining the battery capacity. The bottom line is though, once you go rapid charging, you just can't go back. For example, the iPhone 12 charges at a maximum of 20 watts with a wire. And the Pixel 5, that charges at a max of 18 watts with a wire. Yet, here OnePlus are providing a 65 watt wired charger in the box and throwing in a free 50 watt wireless charger with pre-orders. That's crazy. If you want to pick up a wireless charger now though, you'll have to spend £70 on it, but if you want that wireless charging, I think it's worth it. The details in the haptics or the vibration feedback are like no other phone that I've used. Let's start with the standard stuff. When you get notifications and stuff like that, it feels great. Still not the same level as an iPhone, not as punchy as the 12 mini I'd say, but still great, and you wouldn't have any complaints again unless you're comparing them side by side. The small details are where the 9 Pro really impresses me. When you're adjusting the brightness, you get constant haptic feedback throughout the slider. If you're at a low brightness, the haptic feedback is a subtle vibration, and the higher up the slider you go, the more punchy each tiny vibration is. It's great. The same thing happens when you're adjusting the volume using the slider as well. The quieter you go, the more soft and subtle the vibration is, and the louder you go, the more punchy and crisp the vibration becomes. There's also haptic feedback when bringing up your recent apps using the gesture. It's these small touches that really improve the experience of using the phone, in my opinion. I love this from OnePlus, and this is the first phone that I've used that's gone this in depth with its haptics. The speakers are really good. They're nice and loud, and if you accidentally block the bottom firing louder speaker, the top front facing one does a fine job on its own. I think the overall quality of the speakers are great, and I've had no issues with them at all. Bad speakers can make watching content on your phone a terrible experience, but good ones can make it an enjoyable one. After coming from the Pixel 5 with really underwhelming speakers, the 9 Pro is definitely a massive upgrade. Now I think this little alert slider is super underrated. You've got a physical switch on the side which allows you to choose between 3 options of silent, vibrate and ring. Why more Android manufacturers don't implement this little alert slider, I'll never know. Apple have their alert switch, which everyone that uses an iPhone loves, but OnePlus are the only major manufacturer on the Android side doing the physical alert slider, and it's awesome. There's no jumping into the settings or holding the volume buttons to switch between sound profiles, it's just the flick of a switch, as it should be. Now I couldn't end this video without talking about the ultra-wide camera. It's the best ultra-wide I've used in a smartphone. Yes, there are some negatives about the camera, but the ultra-wide and the pictures it produces is not one of them. I've even used the Pixel 5 and the iPhone 12 Pro Max, but I love the results from the 9 Pro. I think it's because the hardware is so good. A large sensor with great detail. If they could nail down the software for the camera, Gcam, then it would be leaps and bounds ahead. And there we have it. The 7 things that I love about the OnePlus 9 Pro. Overall, I really like the 9 Pro. The negatives aren't deal breakers for me, and the positives far outweigh them. I've got a separate video on the way covering 5 things that I hate about it, as well as a full OnePlus 9 Pro review. So, make sure you stay subscribed to the channel and don't miss those videos. Did I miss anything? Let me know what you love about the OnePlus 9 Pro down in the comments below. This was FoxTech. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.